Okay, so I'm going to touch on acceptance. And I know I've mentioned it in the previous videos, but I'm just going to talk about it a little bit further. The difference between active acceptance and defeatist acceptance. Because when someone says to you, just accept your paruresis, it can come across as though they're saying, put up with it, or don't worry, you'll be fine. And that's not what active acceptance is. So it doesn't mean resigning yourself to always having to suffer with your paruresis. It doesn't mean that at all. Once you've been doing the graduated exposure work, you start to get into it, you start to experience a little success with it, and you begin to share it with other people, telling other mature adults, people that you can confide in, sharing it with them. You start to develop this active acceptance. And when you're in that place, you stop trying to appear as though you don't have a shy bladder. Now that doesn't mean you walk around the streets with a t-shirt on saying I've got a shy bladder. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that you go out to a party and you start telling everyone. But you stop trying to cover it up. And that's what I've noticed I've started to do. I'm much more casual around needing the toilet, and I'm open to other people finding out. I'm open to other people noticing that I've used the cubicle. If anyone asks me, I'm just going to say, you know what, I like a bit of privacy. I don't have to mention shy bladder, and as I've said before, no one's actually ever asked me, why did you go into the cubicle? So that's what can develop. This active acceptance is an attitude, and it says, okay, I have paruresis, but there are people who have gone before me who have had success with graduate exposure. There's guys who go out there and live their lives, and I can do that too. So it's not defeatist. The defeatist behaviour with me used to show up in that, you know, I wanted to appear as though I didn't have a problem, even to myself, because when I found out about the IPA workshops, I didn't want to attend. And I had this attitude of, I don't need that. I'm fine, I don't really need to go to one of those workshops. And the truth was, I would have benefited from going to one of those workshops. But for me, at that time, it was too uncomfortable to actually face it. Because going to a workshop would have meant admitting to myself that I had an issue with it and that I needed help. And sometimes that's where we need to get to in order to go forwards with it, is to hold our hands up and say, you know what, this is holding me back, I've got an issue with this and I could use some help here. Then you can begin to pick up the pieces. There is a path to recovery. Hope you got something from that. Catch you in the next video.